Okay, welcome back YouTube to in some ways sort of the post game because we won in the last part with the victory pact, but we're trying to see if we can win without using the victory pact. So right now, if you victory pact would be like 62%. We're only about 9% of victory score off from winning without the victory pact, which is what we're trying to see if we can do. Our allies have gone ahead and cleared the unit that would have been circled here, so we don't need to do that. Let's see if we can encircle that tank before we attack it by trying to chase off this infantry using our tank. The answer might be no. Yeah, the answer is no. One thing to remember is the enemy troops are significantly stronger than ours. They're almost twice as strong as ours, I think. If my memory is correct. So we are kind of reliant on encircling them and hitting them with overwhelming numbers. And even that, as you can see here, under the right circumstances, is not enough with our current troops. The one thing we do have going for us is we just have more numbers, right? So we can just simply encircle their units frequently. Cut them off some supply and start to take advantage of the fact that they don't have any supply.
Successful. Mission successful.
And at this point, you're also saying I'm making pretty heavy use in my attacks with the GDR, the Galactic Republic troops, Galactic Republic equipment, because they're some of my best attacking equipment. It's very easy for me to inflict very heavy losses on myself if I am not. Also, a lot of our equipment that isn't infantry is really out of date at this point, because we developed them a while ago and didn't need to upgrade them. Until suddenly now we very much probably should, but upgrading takes time. Okay, destroy this guy who's been out of supply for quite a while. There we go. Okay, so now the 7th Infantry can actually turn around and go back to the front. We'll grab one of the 5th Infantry and set on the 7th for this encirclement. Whoops. To finish off the guy encircled. Don't know where the missing 7th guy went. So we're got a worker shortage because we're trying to too rapidly expand stuff around the capital, as I have a bad habit of doing sometimes. Replenishment, we need to recruit one more foot infantry. Yeah, we are probably at the point where we should try to take another swing at the infantry to compensate for the fact that we're under strength on the bulk of our units. Before I forget, let's grab the garrison. We were going to upgrade that garrison. Let's upgrade that garrison. Upgrade to the Whirlwind 3.
Yes, sir.
And the Whirlwind 2 is now pretty much obsolete, as the Whirlwind 3 is better than it in every way. Except maybe cost. And even in cost, it's for effectiveness per cost, it's better.
Order received. Yes, sir.
Okay, finish the zoo there. Not that the zoo at this point is super important, but...
Roger that. Roger that.
Okay, let's roll the turn as we sneak closer and closer to victory. I wonder if there is... Well, presumably because it didn't fall to it... Well, this could be a big unit. These could be units. There may be no units in Nagel, or there probably is units in Nagel. Cities are pretty good at hiding units. If possible, we would like to be the one who does take Nagel. We'd ideally not want it falling to our allies. Okay, so we developed the rocket launcher. I haven't seen any signs that we've been under air attacks. I'm not going to worry about the man pad. Let's go ahead and attempt and upgrade our infantry. So we were previously using gas-powered carbines. We can, again, almost triple our firepower. It's going to more than triple our ammunition consumption, but we can do that by swapping over the charged gas rifles. Double our armor effectiveness. The next generation infantry should be significantly better than the last generation. Okay, let's try to actually get these guys encircled. As you can see, the background has gone red because we've had one of our commanders killed in action. We have successfully encircled them, but at the cost of one of our commanders. Someone's probably Nagel. Yeah, someone was in Nagel. Lots of people are in Nagel. Nagel is very full. I suspected something like that, but the recon was saying it was empty, and it's like, well, if it is actually empty, we really need to take it this turn. And the answer to was it empty is, of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. That would be too easy. The enemy's not going to completely abandon one of their most important cities. By most important, you mean the only city you know they have. Okay, so I think the third, which has been doing most of our attacks up until now, is going to go ahead and do an attack using the DDR tank to provide the firepower, and the 14th and 13th to provide the meat to force a surrender here on the enemy. Okay, well, needless to say, with that many guys in that city, we're not going to simply walk into the city. And in fact, in practice, I don't even think we can take it. We won't be able to take it by frontal assault. We will have to encircle the city to take it with that many guys in it.
Take cover.
Those guys in that mountain. Oh, you are the 7th. Okay, so that's actually probably a good place to anchor the line anyway. ourselves up to the road network. So we can use the road network to help supply our forward motion on our troops. I'm going to hold off on sending out new replacements until we get the upgraded foot infantry, because we'll send out upgraded troops instead of just more troops. Yeah, I think they're too... Yeah, they still have too much supplies to allowing them to maintain their readiness. So we've got these guys encircled. I don't think they're going to have enough capacity to break out. The terrain is not favorable for them, and the number of bodies we have in the way is not favorable to them. But we don't have the ability to get rid of them right now. Kind of disappointing to my thought process is that they are starting to form an organized line here. So it's going to get harder and harder to take territory and destroy enemy units with what they've got left. Victory is... We're still working towards victory. It's probably going to start slowing down as we start to get into a combat slog here.
Yes, sir. Roger that.
But I don't see it necessarily coming to a complete halt. It's just going to get slower. Also, at some point, we're probably going to get better equipment rolling off the lines that will help. Oh, you're complaining about being out of petrol. That probably means we're out of petrol. Apparently we're having logistics issues in the west. It's probably our, the push-pull logistics pulling logistics eastward to support our massive ammo consumption over there. I'm trying to get these guys back in the green to lower their supply requirements. Okay, let's go ahead and roll that turn. Well, they're trying to push our unit back. So there's foot 3. Let's see how much better foot 3 is over foot 2. Almost 3 times as good, and only 25% more expensive. So yeah, all new replacements will be foot 3. See no reason to keep foot 2 around, other than the fact that obviously in the middle of a war is the wrong time to be wholesale replacing units. Okay, you're at 42, you're at 22, so we're about at the point where they're going to start losing their capacity to resist. Let's give them one more turn. These guys haven't started to suffer supply problems yet, so no on them. Nope, got a 5th unit going where the 7th should really be in charge. I'm looking at their HQs and I'm realizing their HQ is probably, their HQ is seriously threatening. Because my poor My poor infantry are not that strong at the moment. Yes, when the enemy's HQ probably has about as much firepower as one of your entire units. That's maybe a little bit disconcerting. Okay, upgrading the tanks will probably be another thing we'll want to do soon as well. Guessing between me and
Open fire!
the
Open fire!
neutrals, the unaligned, these guys have been encircled for a couple turns. So I'm successfully destroying a mobile division. Sign Mobile Monk Battalion. I guess those were militia forces that I've just encircled and destroyed. So I think the AI might get a cost decrease for building in weird places like over mountains or something like that. Either they just had that much more industrial capacity than I do. So we're not going to upgrade that sealed road there because low mountains, no veg is still a bit hard to build nice road on. So we have decisions. Security cooperation, sure. Air Force would not be a bad choice. So we'll pick up Air Force. So we just did infantry, we just did bazooka, we did artillery. I think the next thing to do is probably to upgrade those light tanks of ours. So we're gonna keep them with the howitzer gun. Sadly, no gun upgrade. I was going with the minimal 5mm steel plate when we were fighting unaligned forces. We never ended up using it with that against unaligned forces, because 5mm is probably good enough against those. But against proper factions, we probably want some proper armor. So let's go ahead and actually go with the thicker armor blocks. And apparently, the 6th Light Infantry... Yeah, yes, I remember from last turn. Last turn, the commander died, so we're going to replace him with a new commander. The poor 6th. 6th has been doing some of the... arguably on the western end of the front, has been doing the hardest fighting because it's been in charge of the tanks and the GDR infantry. Okay, our logistics appear to have improved in the west, but we're still going to be doing mostly station keeping over in the west. Assets. Agri-Dome is done. Truck station's still being worked on. I suppose in concept of maybe doing something against that city, it may be worth raising some artillery, some motorized artillery. Nope, that requires more industrial capacity than I have. So there it is right there. There's the independent motorized artillery battalion. That is probably what I want to raise. Maybe not even battalion size, we might want to go up to regiment size, which is even more industrial capacity. Rally a unit of that just to start carrying out a siege bombardment of the city, then we're in range. But that'll have to wait. We don't have the industrial capacity, and we need to support the offensive more. Oop, I managed to force my foot infantry back. No losses, but they managed to force it back. Suffered no losses, though we did have a morale failing. Some units suffered a morale defeat. Serpentization is completed. We got cluster bombs. Discovered new tech, heavy guided RPGs. Interesting. Execute relative. No, we have tribunals for that. Air Force Commander, or Air Force Research Council. Pick the best guy for the job. Yes, it balanced. Synthetic fuel. Yeah, probably synthetic fuel here. As we... Oh, apparently I'm gonna have to start doing motorized and mechanized offensives soon because I'm running out of petrol. The next thing we need to build up is presumably our petrol supply because we have a shortage of petrol. Mines. Your only target right now is rocket engines. Would have expected to develop propellers, but apparently not. Or, I mean, discovered propellers. Well, maybe I suppose the answer is maybe we researched it already. Nope, we haven't found propeller engine. It is an available choice. Unlike water atmospheric recomposition. Let's check. I don't think we haven't upgraded the truck. Oh, we do haven't upgraded the truck. We just throw all the diesel engines on. Okay, let's do that.
Roger that.
Okay, so back at base. Food is going up, but petrol is going down. Power is going down. That's also worrisome. Power is easy to deal with, so we expand the solar power field. Petrol, in theory, is also reasonably easy to deal with. Let's go ahead and get the deep gas extractor.
Roger that.
There we go. Okay. And we don't have enough forces to attack you. Okay, I know I should probably be saving petrol, but let's clear this pocket. I think their readiness has decayed enough that we can close the pocket, and it has. Yours hasn't yet, though, so we're not ready to close that one.
We need more firepower, sir.
Okay, so we've encircled these guys, but they're holed up in the mountains, and, well, mountains are always a tough nut to dislodge troops from if they don't want to go willingly. No, a lone batch of 10 tanks should probably not go alone into an offensive. Well, that's a bit more tempting. Not enough AP. Oh, almost got them to run away. Let's deploy more placements. Former foot 3s. Okay, there's our light tanks. Are fine. Really, the thing we're worried about right now is we're worried about the petrol gauge. So we're going to cycle the turn. So, victory grows ever closer. So we take more and more of the territory. Nanglestead here is temptingly close. In fact, actually, before we go ahead and cycle the turn, let's deploy some spies. I want to know things. I want to know if that is...
Affirmative.
Stop filling it spying, please.
Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Well, their counter-espionage is being somewhat effective.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
We managed to get 4 spies involved. I think that may be their only city. And if that is their only city, that would represent 8.3% of the world's population in that city. City that is nearly encircled. And that is their capital. I can tell because we can see the Supreme HQ, which plausibly implies if that is their only city, and we do successfully encircle it, that will effectively be pocketing their entire country, because all of the supplies come from the capital. They only have one city. Yeah, so they got a bunch of territory out to the east, but we're not seeing any indications they have any other cities. Looks like they have one city. This has been a vicious turn. Effectively, 12 combat assets have been destroyed on their side. On other sides, we've lost 6 in exchange.
Yes, sir.
New demand. Private asset levels up 4.
Roger that.
The private economy is booming. I would not be surprised if that just happens without me having to do anything about it. We don't have any right now, but let's go ahead and develop an APC. Oh, no, we have an APC design, but we haven't used any. So we're gonna go from the old-fashioned machine gun to the charged Gauss. So it's more than 7 times firepower, and the more than 4 times armor. And we're in the best
Roger
engine.
that. Let's go. Mission successful. Take cover.
Nope.
Run. Run.
They have their own GDR, or Galactic Republic grade infantry. In this case, actually hiding in those mountains. Exposed enemy artillery. Or at least looks like it's exposed enemy artillery. As your readiness started to go down, it's starting to, but it has not yet completely gone the way of the dodo. We'll keep the tank back just in case we want to use the tank for the attack. 7th right now has command of this front. So that means the rest of the 5th can start to march significantly farther east. The tank can catch up pretty quickly because it's a tank after all. I'm getting a member of the 7th combined and confused with the 5th. Or did we lose raise information missing unit? Oh, no missing sub-units, so there must be somewhere. I know where 4 of the 5 are. Oh, it's underneath the tank. Yeah, march here east. Exposed artillery is just too tempting not to attack.
Let's go.
So artillery has a very low sort of combat toughness. It really doesn't like being shot at. But it gets the benefit that if you have anything else to hide it behind, it's always the last to be attacked. Which is why attacking exposed artillery is so tempting, because it's not very good at defending itself. In this case, it's now got some infantry to hide behind, so that's going to be a harder nut to crack. We've got 1 GDR tank here, but... Well... The GDR tank's going to be doing all the work, but all the rest of the troops are going to do is provide it cover. I don't think that was a good exchange. Hindsight, that probably wasn't a great job. We're getting into the bloody part of war, which is where you lose troops left, right, and center, all over the place. So right now, all their supplies have got to go through this hex, which is why even though I thought going in that was going to be a bad fight, and it was, successfully taking that hex would have completely removed any and all capacity they have of basically supplying the rest of their territory. And even a turn of that might have been enough to cause functional collapse of many portions in their area. Let's check on prospecting. Nope, no more prospecting. Victory points, we move even closer to victory. Slowly we move that way. One thing I might do, because we got some surplus industrial capacity, actually no, we're building things, right? Building things to solve various problems. Let's make sure I got industrial capacity around to do that. Before I go and spend it all. Okay, so we're basically going to spend all our industrial capacity that we got left on building the things back at the base. So let's not spend it just because we've got it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cycle the turn, and this is where I'm going to go ahead and put the part break in for YouTube. So if you've been watching on YouTube, there will be one more part. I think the next part will be regardless which way it goes, I think the next part will be the last part on this planet. So if you're wanting to see more, check back in tomorrow if you're watching on YouTube when the last part will go up. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to do at least another half an hour as we attempt to win this game without having to do a victory pact. At any point, we could just do a victory pact and claim to win again, but that would kind of defeat the purpose of playing more. At this point, we know we've got the W. It's just, are we gonna hang around long enough to win a second time? Is really where we are. So if you're watching on YouTube, hope you have a good time until the next episode. See you then.